All right, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Carpool Movie Reviews. It's been a little bit since we've been on. We've been out for a minute, but we're back today with A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
My boy, John Krasinski, a.k.a.
Jim Halpert.
Jim Halpert.
Where's Jenna?
Wait, what?
No,
Jenna Fisher.
I meant
Pam.
Pam.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, but either way,
Where's Pam?
this movie basically is a post-apocalyptic, and everyone, if you make noise, these monsters come and they kill you. And my boy Jim and his family, they have found a way to survive.
Yep.
All this time.
Continue.
The story's written and directed by John Krasinski, who also stars in it as the father of the family. But that's enough backstory about it. What do you guys think about it?
I think it was like simple but good. Like simple but like excellent filming, acting.
The acting was great. I believed every character in the movie. I thought it was simple just because it had just very minimal dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
But for not having dialogue, the movie did well.
Yeah, every sound is important because they're silent and there's like no music when they're not talking and it's just quiet. And you just like every sound is also like amplified. It's because like you're not like listening to noise, but like when they make a sound or something drops or something happens, it is like 10 times what you expect and you just like feel it inside.
Yeah. That's what I was telling you, like when it was like quiet and then loud, like either it was like the movie doing it or it was like you like not being used to like that sound.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of like that's like hella cool that either if they did that as a movie or if that was just like the theater that did that.
Yeah.
But for any movie, if you can have an emotional connection to any of the characters, it makes for a good movie.
I got super caught in with the characters, even though, like, I feel like the reason why this movie was so tense and like super, just like grabbed you, you resonated with the characters. Like you just felt like that will to live.
They felt like a real family.
Yeah, they did feel like a real family, and they felt like every time they were in danger, you wanted them to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's a super good point, because in some horror films you're just like, I don't even fuck if this person lives or dies because I don't really know them.
Yeah, there's always that one guy that you don't care about.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You're just like, they can die. As long as so-and-so lives, I'm good.
Yeah. Anytime you can feel emotional with character with any movie, makes for a fucking great movie. And for almost all these characters, at least one different type of person could feel it.
Yeah.
Like a father could feel with John Krasinski, a mother could feel with Emily Blunt, a kid can feel with the kids. Like,
yeah,
it's a fit for every movie, and acting was great. And I loved to see John and Emily in a film together. I thought like they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, no, I feel like just because they're a couple,
and they have their own kids.
Yeah, they have their own kids. I feel like it made this movie that much more like good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like you can feel like the connection between them, even though they've never been in a film together. But outside of filming, they're fucking married. Like, yeah,
like they obviously have that emotional connection they could bring with them on screen. And I think that they did that well.
And he had a interview he did with I forgot Google does like that thing where they like ask questions and people pill the little things.
Oh yeah, the Google autocomplete, whatever
And he was talking about the A Quiet Place, and he was all like, he wrote it and he co-wrote it and directed it, and he talked about he wrote it for like his kids, telling his kids like he'll do anything for them, which I thought was like hella deep. Like basically like the kids in the movie were like basically thinking that's his kids and he'll like fucking fight off monsters for them.
Yeah, like no matter what the problem is, he's gonna
sacrifice whatever he has.
Do what he needs to do to become to be a good dad.
Yeah.
Other than that, you guys ready to give it a rating?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it give it a solid memorable. It was good. I liked it a lot just because there was no dialogue, and I still felt the story just as much as I would have felt like if it needed dialogue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was just good. My heart rate was amped just because I really felt for the characters in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I cared for them. Everything that a horror movie tries to do, I felt in this movie.
Yeah. And it wasn't like it struck you with its horror. It struck you with like moments of horror that you wanted, but like it wasn't overdoing it.
The only reason why I don't give it an unforgettable or a movie of the month is just because I feel like there was a lot of jump scares in there. There was.
Oh yeah. Well, it was with the sound. Yeah.
It was with the sound. Yeah. It was a lot of jump scares because they had you at this point, in the movie where you just like you're not used to hearing any sounds in the movie at all, and then they would hit you with just like that really loud sound.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, well.
Yeah.
I know what you're doing there. So, but I do feel like this movie had moments where it just had you scared just because, it didn't rely on jump scares really that heavily. I feel like this movie relied on a mixture of both. It did rely on some jump scares, but it really had you terrified at some times just because you felt for the family.
Mm-hmm. So you wanted them to live.
Yeah. So.
I would have given it a movie of the month, but with Avengers coming out later this month, I really don't want to stick to this. I'll give it an unforgettable though. For me, I'm a big horror movie fan. This is more of like a thriller to a horror movie than me.
Oh yeah, it's definitely more of a thriller than a horror movie.
Because there was jump scares, but it wasn't like straight on like pure horror. Just kind of like jumps a little bit, but acting was great. Story was simple but great. Yeah, I'd give it a definitely unforgettable. Shout out to Jim, my boy. Yeah, did yourself.
Yeah, no. What's his name? Jim Krasinski?
John Krasinski.
I'm sorry. I mixed
Jim Halpert from The Office. Yeah.
No. I mean, like when I first saw The Office, I thought he was just like maybe
he can act.
Just like a one-dimensional character. But no, he's a good actor.
He can act.
No, I'm looking at the camera because you're just my boy Jim.
I'm sorry. I just didn't know him.
Like,
yeah, he really.
I just didn't know him other than The Office, so I didn't know if he could do anything else. But yeah, no, definitely he could do.
No, he was multi-talented in The Office too.
Yeah, no, he's good.
Like when he was falling for Pam.
Yeah.
And all the emotion he had in his character.
No, he's definitely a talented actor.
And he definitely showed it in this movie.
Good for him.
But Alex, what's your rating?
I'm again unforgettable for basically two scenes. There's a scene with John Krasinski towards the end.
Yeah.
That I'm not going to forget that. And then also another scene with Emily Blunt in the middle where I just felt the tension growing like so much like in my stomach. And I was just like, oh, man. And another thing I want to point out, there's not a single name to the characters in these movies.
No.
In this movie.
They never say a name.
You never hear a name. Like, it's like a spoiler, but not really a spoiler, but it's just like, there's no names.
And
yet you still feel this connection.
And you still felt emotional connection to these characters, even though you don't know the fucking names.
Yeah, that's super good writing.
Like, that's like, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like, even when they're signing or anything like that, they're not like, whatever, like, signing their names.
They're not just like, Sarah, like, come over here, nothing like that. It's just like, they're just talking, and nobody really talks about their name.
Yeah, there's no names. They could be any family.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. But other than that, we're going to get into our
spoiler review. Really quick, because we have like a few minutes left.
Yeah, if you don't want to watch this,
go ahead and leave the video now. Check out next week when we're watching Rampage.
This is our spoiler review, so just fair warning. Yeah. Anyway.
Boom.
So that scene with Emily Blunt when she's giving birth. Yeah. And she steps on the nail and she's going downstairs.
Oh my I had to close my eyes for that.
She's running from this monster because her water broke.
Yeah, she's just like, I gotta get out of here, and she's running down the stairs. And we knew the nail was there
because the laundry bag
from the previous scene, and we knew the nail was there, and so I was just like, I can't see it.
And it was just straight.
Been a fear of mine.
Yeah,
that's always been a fear of mine. So when I knew that the nail was there, I was just like, I can't see, and I heard her step on the nail, and then I opened my eyes,
and then she was like trying to attempt to pull it out.
Shit. Yeah, she was like pulling it out. I was like, oh.
And then her daughter almost stepped on it.
Yeah,
but then she's like,
I thought she was gonna. I don't know how she did it because she wasn't looking.
She really
because they panned to the nail and then they panned back and
because she was walking down with her son and she was like, "Hey, be careful for the nail."
But she didn't tell her daughter.
Still up there, like way up there,
direction.
Yeah, like a different direction. And so when her daughter stepped down, I was like, "Oh shit, her daughter's gonna step on it too."
She's gonna get the 2 for 2.
Yeah, but she didn't. She just went around.
They panned to the nail and then panned back downstairs.
They didn't even specify that she went around it. She just didn't step on it.
Yeah, she just went through it.
She must have just saw it or something.
I guess.
Smaller foot didn't hit the whole thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
But that R.I.P. Jim Halpert.
Oh my god, we lost Jim.
Oh my god.
We really did. We lost Jim.
The
he
fact,
went out on a noble cause, though. He really did.
The fact that he wrote this and killed himself off, most likely, is deep, especially with the whole his kids thing.
He directed his own death.
It was deep.
It went out perfectly just because, Emily Blunt was like, protect them, promise me that you're going to protect them. And he was like, I promise you. And then, like you said, like
he hit it with an axe, didn't do anything, and that was the only thing he could do.
Yeah, that's really.
And he was all cut up and stuff.
And he was like, "Hey, I'm already bleeding. They're about to kill my kids over there in that truck." So he's like, "What else do I got to do? Nothing.
Scream.
I just gotta
lets out a fucking roar."
He just like,
and the thing just.
And it just destroys him.
You don't see actually the
you don't really see it destroy him, but you
just
see it take him.
And you're like, oh.
And you're just like, oh, you went out like a G because you went out for your kids. And that's super respectable.
Deep.
It's
I shout out to him, man. It's fucking great.
Yeah. Like I like the way that he died. I mean, like, I'm not saying that I wish that he died, but I like the way
he went out.
Yeah, that he went out. Because like you said, he didn't say, I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't anything corny or whatever.
Like, he signed that I loved you. He's like,
to both his kids.
I've always loved you. Because
during the movie, but he was really talking to his daughter.
He was really talking.
She wasn't feeling it.
Yeah, because during the whole movie, his daughter didn't feel like that he really loved her because he focused more on the son because he was like, hey, you're a man, you got to take care of like your sister, like the women or whatever.
And then
so his daughter was like,
he blamed her for the death of their other kids,
which was fucking crazy.
In the very beginning.
But it's like, it's nuts because in the very beginning of the movie, they have a really small child. Like, what would you say? How old was he?
4 or 5 years old.
4 years old.
No, 100% 4.
It was 4 because they had his date.
And he was running around the store and stuff as a little kid.
Yeah, but they had a little kid, 4 years old, and he let off a toy that was like a little spaceship.
Yeah.
And it made noise. And you know how the monsters hunt the noise, but
this monster must have been like 30 feet away though.
But he was dipping on him.
He was just like, "Oh, I'm on my way, nigga."
It was dipping, and that thing took out him.
Yeah, no. So in the very in the very first 10 minutes of the movie, you see a little 4-year-old kid die.
Yeah.
So you're just like, oh, this movie's like everything's on the table. Everything's on the table for this movie because you just saw a little child die.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just like you really don't know what this movie has in store for you because it's like, oh, child dying. We just took this, that's it.
Yeah.
I thought, even though it was a good movie, I thought it was like kind of like too high of a climax for it. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like too high of a climax in the beginning to be like that. Because
I feel like the most of it was like in the beginning.
Because after that, it was like kind of slow, but it was still good. And then towards the end,
because you're just getting their life, you're getting their routine, like what they're doing,
yeah,
seeing how they live, doing a little world building.
Like, have you ever been told to write an essay?
Yeah.
You want to start with the hook, right?
Hook the reader.
Yeah, you hook the reader.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's like you have your information, all that stuff, which is like, oh, how they live their lives. And then after that, it's like now you get the final part.
Yeah, because if you get that life part, it'd be a boring first 20 minutes.
Just be
of
like,
the movie.
What are they doing? They're playing Monopoly. What?
But no, you see a freaking kid die.
Yeah, so
in the
you're
first 5 minutes, and
what?
you're just like, okay, I need to cool down. I need to calm down off of this.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you're kind of like, okay, I'm ready for these monsters again, they're back.
Yeah.
But
interesting movie. I would definitely recommend you guys to go see.
Definitely recommend watching A Quiet Place.
It's very good.
We're going to be continuing our podcast now, so if you're listening to our podcast, you can go on to the next segment. But if you're watching us on YouTube, that's going to conclude this part
of the video.
Yeah, thank you for staying for the whole time, watching the spoiler section as well. Next week, we're going to be watching Rampage with Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, with Dwayne Johnson.
It's going to be my birthday, so nice blockbuster popping out. That'll be good.
Happy birthday, bro.
Thank you. And then it'll be his birthday
3 days later. Send your boys some money.
But go ahead and remember, like, comment, subscribe, tell us what you think about the movie and our review, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.